The Mega Man franchise is my favorite video game series of all time. I could play Mega Man games from dawn until dusk, 5 days straight and not get bored. The series is extremely dynamic and fun, with so many creative levels, bosses, and weapons. And to top it all off, the music is incredible. Seriously, I cannot decide which game has the best music. But after playing both Legacy collections from Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 10, I believe I can rank these games from worst to best. I'm only including the classic Mega Man games of the Keiji Inafune era, so that means no Mega Man 11, no Mega Man in Base, no Mega Man Game Boy games, and no Mega Man Soccer. I mean, who cares about that game anyway? Keep in mind that other people's views on this series may vary, and this ranking is my personal opinion. Even though I may rag on some of these games, I believe that all 10 of these Mega Man games are great platformers, and they are all worth playing. So without further ado, I rank the games. Number 10. Mega Man 6 is a dull, boring, been there, done that experience on the dying NES. I never played Mega Man 6 growing up, because by 1993 I'd moved on to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis like pretty much everybody else. Mega Man 6 is like a movie playing in an empty theater at 4 AM, when everyone's gone home to bed like 3 hours ago. Why would you want to play this game over the other 5 Mega Man games on the NES? The game plays okay, but there's hardly any innovation other than the rush adapters, which aren't that fun to use in my opinion. The story is the weakest and dumbest Mega Man story ever. Dr. Wily puts on a pair of sunglasses and a robe and says he's Mr. X, and we're all supposed to believe that's him. Come on, a 4-year-old could come up with a better plot. Not that Mega Man games are known for their plot, but this one's so stupid it's hard to turn a blind eye to and ignore. The graphics are great, but the music's pretty unmemorable, and most of the tracks are kind of boring. The only thing I like about Mega Man 6 is that it was the doormat for its incredible follow-up Mega Man 7. I'll get to that game soon, just you wait. Number 9. Mega Man 9 was released in 2008, and it definitely got everyone's attention. Seeing Mega Man back in 8-bit was super refreshing and exciting. The game looks and plays just like Mega Man 1 and 2. Your slide is gone, your charge shot's gone. Mega Man 9 is a great game, but there's some things I really don't like about it that a lot of people don't address or they tend to overlook. The main problem I have with Mega Man 9 is the level design. It's just hideous in a lot of areas. It's full of instant deaths. It's really easy to die and then have to go all the way back to the checkpoint that you were at, and that can get really tiresome after a while. The levels don't flow the best. They're kind of rigid. As one YouTuber put it in his review, he said Mega Man 9 felt coldly calculated, and that each level felt like it was mathematically designed by a Capcom designer wanting to create the hardest screen that he could dream up. And I really agree with that review, and I think it hurts the game a lot. Going back and playing the old NES Mega Man games, I could really see a difference with the levels. They had hazards, there were instant deaths in the old Mega Man games, but they weren't all over the place, and they weren't super precise and methodical. They were natural, Iceman stage, it had a huge pit and a lot of death, but it didn't feel like the game was trying to specifically screw you over. Mega Man 9's it's got great graphics. The music's okay. It's not my favorite in this series, but it's decent. The music, it's 8-bit. The game's really based on nostalgia, and a lot of people played Mega Man 9 and they love Mega Man 9 for that, myself included. But when you look past the nostalgia, you can see the flaws with the level designs. The Robot Masters are all really unique and colorful, and they're fun. Splash Woman, the first and only female Robot Master to this date, was in a Mega Man game. That was really innovative, and I wish other Mega Man games did do that. I'm surprised Mega Man 10 didn't put a female Robot Master in. The weapons in Mega Man 9 are also they're my second favorite of the series. A lot of people would say they're the best, but there's a game I think that has better weapons than Mega Man 9. But gosh, they're all great. The Hornet Chaser, getting items whenever you want. The Jewel Satellite, the Black Hole Bomb, all really, really fun weapons to use, and it really makes the game enjoyable to play. But the level design is the biggest issue that I had with Mega Man 9. Number 8. Mega Man 10, for the longest time, I thought was one of the weakest games in the Mega Man franchise. The gameplay is almost exactly like Mega Man 9. The music isn't as good, the weapons are terrible, and the Robot Masters felt uninspired. One thing about Mega Man 10 that's better, though, than Mega Man 9 is the level design. I found it more reasonable and smooth compared to Mega Man 9's calculated and instant death invested level. Mega Man 10, unfortunately, though, has the worst weapons of all the series, rivaled only by Mega Man 5's terrible weapons. It's a debate on which game's worse. The difference? In Mega Man 10, you don't have a charge shot. You're still missing the beloved slide, too. Why did Capcom do this again? You know, these features made the old Mega Man games so much better and more accessible. Proto Man does have the slide and charge shot, but he's a side character, and quite frankly, I don't like playing as him. He takes so much damage when he gets hit. Bass can shoot upwards and dash, which is cool, but again, he's a side character and not the main focus. I'd rather them just do one character really well than, try to put 3 different characters in. I mean, I get they're trying to make each character different in tributes like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but this isn't something that works well in my opinion in a Mega Man game, and it just waters it down. Why not give Mega Man the ability to swim again, like in Mega Man 8? Why not let him climb monkey bars like in Crash Bandicoot 2, the second game? Why not add more moves for him? It didn't really do anything with Mega Man 10. They took steps back instead of steps forward. It's still a Mega Man game, and I still love the 8-bit look, but the lack of innovation pegs this game down a few notches. Oh, and it was Wily all along. Shocking. Number 7. Mega Man 8 was the first Mega Man game to be released in 32-bit. It was released on the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. I have some mixed feelings about Mega Man 8. I applaud Capcom for trying to evolve the series and add new things to it. The gameplay is quite altered from the usual Mega Man formula. Energy tanks are gone. Rush coil is gone. Energy conservation is gone. When you die, all your weapons refill. Mega Man can now swim, which I do like. While the innovation is great, it does make a hardcore fan, as myself, sad seeing such beloved staples missing and replaced by crap that's not nearly as entertaining, like a Rush adapter that drops bombs on enemies and isn't really that useful. Rush Motorcycle sounds like a cool idea, but very few levels let you play it out. The physics of Mega Man 8 kind of bog the game down and make me want to play it less than other Mega Man games. Capcom decided to dunk Mega Man in a giant vat of molasses because he moves so slow. Every time you open the menu to look at your weapons and items, it takes several seconds and it's just tedious. Mega Man 8 brought us anime cutscenes and voice acting, which would be cool. The problem? The voice acting sucks, and it sounds like it was done all by a group of special ed kids. Mega Man's whiny, girly voice is really hard to listen to. The bosses also sound stupid. I'll crush you! I'm gonna bite you! Well, I can just say one thing about Mega Man 8. See you in my dreams! Number 6. All great franchises had to start somewhere. Mega Man 1 laid the groundwork for an incredible, fun run-and-gun franchise that would spawn countless games. It was the first game I played where you could pick the order of the stages you wanted to go through. It is a very memorable game, and the Robot Masters are all recognizable. It's hard to criticize a game that came first. Still, it's difficult to pick up and play. The lack of a password feature means you had to start the game from scratch every time you turned it on. If your pet cat accidentally bumped the console when you were playing Mega Man 1, well, there goes all your progress down the shitter. Today this isn't such a problem because we have emulation, but back in 1987, the NES wasn't the most reliable piece of machinery. The lack of energy tanks made this game very challenging, and some of the Robot Masters like Iceman and Electman are extremely difficult to beat with the Mega Buster, and quite frankly, kind of unfair. The level design is also poor compared to the follow-up games. Electman's stage is a very big example of this. The first screen of Electman's stage is just horrible. While the game gets easier with practice, it's a brutally hard start. I rank it as high as I do only because it started my favorite video game franchise of all time. Number 5. Mega Man 5 is a game that teeter-totters in the middle for me. A lot of people think this game sucks because it doesn't add anything new to the franchise, and I would agree. There isn't much special about Mega Man 5. It's kind of a know-nothing game in the series. The Robot Masters like Crystal Man and Gyro Man are kind of know-nothings, and they're forgettable and unimportant. The weapons also aren't really that great in Mega Man 5, with the Mega Buster being the default weapon because the charge shot is so powerful. Gyro Attack and Star Crash are okay, but they're still not that great or innovative. So why do I list Mega Man 5 higher than some of the other games on the list? Well, Mega Man 5 has very colorful and pretty 8-bit graphics that I think are really appealing. Gravity Man and Wave Man have really nice stages with cool gimmicks like going upside down and riding a jet ski across a lake. Seriously, I love that. But what's up with Crystal Man's stage? What are those things in the background? Penis pumps? The music is lively and pleasant, at least. The levels flow fairly well compared to games like Mega Man 9 and 10. The game's plot is so-so, but it pales in comparison to Mega Man 4. Mega Man 5 is kind of a rehash of Mega Man 4, but not nearly as fun or exciting. The game's two fortresses aren't as memorable, and the ending kind of sucks. Still, it's a lot better than Mega Man 6's dull and pathetic story of Wily pretending to be somebody else. Mega Man 5 is just an average experience, but it's still an 8-bit classic NES game, and I still have respect for it. It's fun to pick up and play from time to time. That and it's got the old-school charm that we all know and love. Mega Man 5 is a good game, and it has a place in Mega Man history. Number 4. The third entry out of the franchise, Mega Man 3, added some very important characters to the series, like Rush the Robo-Dog and Mega Man's robot brother Proto Man. The addition of the slide was very welcome, and it made it a joy to speed up Mega Man's movement. The controls were tightened up and felt perfect. It is well known by most Mega Man fans that Mega Man 3 was rushed in development, and that the creators did not feel the game was fully polished. This really shows too. There's no intro to the game, and without reading the game's manual, which many kids did not have, you would have no idea what the hell the story was. Ironically, the game's strong point is how weird it really is. I mean, Top Man? What's his level supposed to be? A greenhouse full of cannabis? Mega Man 3's weird and bizarre atmosphere is what gives it charm. Gemini Man and Shadow Man stages are dark and atmospheric and really give off an eerie, weird vibe, but it's a good kind of weird. The soundtrack is one of Mega Man 3's biggest assets. Mega Man 3 arguably has the best music in the franchise, though Mega Man 2 is a close rival. Themes like Top Man, Snake Man, and Shadow Man really stick in your mind. The instruments used for the music are my favorite, and are sex to the ears. Everything about Mega Man 3's levels flow well, and the game is loose, raw, and packed full of stages. A lot of people complain and bitch about the Doc Robot levels, saying they're badly designed. While I agree the Doc Robot bosses themselves, particularly Doc Wood and Doc Quick, are really unfair, I think the Doc Robot stages were a great idea, and I'm really glad we got them. You just beat all 8 robots, and now you journey back to these stages only to see how destroyed and twisted they've become. Transcending through Sparkman stage is a great example of this. What once was a smooth ventilation shaft is now a shaft full of broken spikes and destroyed texture. The game gives off a feeling of brokenness, which is both beautiful and charming. My biggest complaint with Mega Man 3 is the Wily Castle. It's far too easy, and the levels don't have the epicness that Mega Man 2's Wily Castle had. After being floored by the Doc Robots, there's not much to see here other than a rematch with Yellow Devil and a confrontation with Gamma. Mega Man 3 is a game I pick up and play a lot. That's why it lands at number 4 on my list. Number 3. Mega Man 7 is a huge breath of fresh air. Finally, we've moved on to 16-bit, and Mega Man looks and plays great. The gameplay actually starts with an intro stage, and it's awesome. Wily's breaking out of prison and bad shit's happening. Characters are actually talking and interacting. In the old games, Dr. Wily was the only character that did any real talking. Now we have a new character, Bass, who may or may not be a villain. His addition to the Mega Man game really makes me like this game. Mega Man 7 feels magical and exciting. A lot of people bitch and complain that there are only 4 Robot Masters to select from the start. Who gives a shit? I really like that Capcom did this. It freshened up the staleness of the series and made it feel rewarding to beat the first 4 Robot Masters. Seeing 4 more join the stage select always impressed me as a kid. I love the Robot Masters in this game too. Slashman and Shademan are 2 of my favorites. One thing that I really love about Mega Man 7 is that when you hit a Robot Master with their weakness, they do this sort of freak-out pose, and it's really entertaining to see. When Junkman gets hit with the Thunder Weapon, his face goes shocked. When Slashman gets hit with the Freeze Cracker, he slides around the room in an ice cube. It really disappoints me that Mega Man 9 and 10 didn't do this. It's also amusing that certain weapons can empower a Robot Master. Use the Thunder Weapon against Springman, and he has this special attack. What other Mega Man game did this? God, I love Mega Man 7. The music in Mega Man 7 is also really great. I love almost all the songs. Slashman and Shademan also have really great music. The final Wily battle is super hard, and beating the game takes real skill. There are a few issues I have with Mega Man 7. I don't like that many of the game's secrets are really hard to find. How would you know to use Rush Search under these stoplights in Turbo Man stage to find the power adapter? How would you know to use the Thunder Weapon in Junkman stage to power up the generator to get Rush Jet? And how would you know that you can visit Auto Shop at the stage select screen by pressing Select without reading the manual? As a kid, I couldn't beat this game because I didn't know about all the secret stuff. Nevertheless, Mega Man 7 is a unique entry of the franchise that sadly got overshadowed by the dark and edgy Mega Man X. Number 2. Ah, Mega Man 2, the game we all know and love. And for good reason. Mega Man 2 introduced so many important staples to the series. The addition of energy tanks, a password system, 8 Robot Masters instead of 6, a Wily Castle map, more items, more bosses, more levels, and 2 modes of difficulty. What more could we ask for in 1989? Mega Man 2's music is some of the best in the series. I would say it's tied with Mega Man 3 for the best soundtrack. Flashman, Quickman, Metal Man, oh, the music is so great in this game and very memorable. Mega Man 2 feels exciting and magical, with each level being unique and memorable. It's bright and colorful and polished. Enemies and bosses don't deal a shit ton of damage when they hit you, compared to the first Mega Man game. The useless score system is gone. When you beat a Robot Master, the game tells you that the weapon you get. So much detail and so much polish. There are a few things about Mega Man 2, though, that keep it from taking the top spot. The biggest one is the 4th Wily stage boss, the infamous Boo Beam Trap. If you don't have full crash bombs going into this fight, you can't win. That's incredibly stupid, but it's just one boss. Some of the weapons are also pretty bad, like the Atomic Fire, and the Metal Blade is, kind of overpowered. But when it comes right down to it, the game is about fun and figuring out how to progress despite the difficulty. I really love the Wily Castle, excluding the Boo Beam Trap. You have to utilize all 3 items to get through the levels and navigate them, something that's kind of missing in later Mega Man games and Wily Castles. Mega Man 2 will also remain a memorable classic and a game that everyone who loves platformers should definitely play at least once. If you've never played a Mega Man game, this is a great title to start with. Number 1. I've always liked Mega Man 4 and never thought it was the best Mega Man game, but after replaying all 10 games, it really hit me how well designed Mega Man 4 is. Mega Man 4 is the most balanced and polished game in the series. The addition of the charge shot was a brilliant idea from Capcom, and it really made it fun to attack enemies. A lot of people like to diss Mega Man 4 for adding it, saying that it hurt the special weapons usage and that the weapons are not, not as good because you have a charge shot. But that's complete and utter bullshit. Okay, the charge shot greatly helped the series. You never hear anyone bitching about it being in Mega Man X. Everyone just seems to give that game the free pass. The weapons in Mega Man 4 are the best in the whole series in my opinion. Yes, even better and more fun than Mega Man 9. I love all the weapons in this game. Rain Flush is so awesome, clearing the screen easily. Flash Stopper is incredibly useful and fun. Pharaoh Shot is a great multi-directional weapon, Ring Boomerang and Dust Crusher are powerful weapons and kill tons of different enemies. Skull Barriers are great for making those risky jumps. Dive Missile helps you hit enemies out of your reach or when you don't feel like being precise. And Drill Bomb blows shit up like never before and is an extremely satisfying weapon. I give each weapon a 9 or a 10. Mega Man 4 feels so professionally made and it shows. Each level has unique graphics and set themselves apart perfectly. The level design of Mega Man 4 is fun and fair. From the eerie sewers of Toad Man, shifting sands of Pharaoh Man, to the bone maze of Skull Man, it's all great stuff. Using the rush adapters is really fun, and each level utilizes them the best. Unlike Mega Man 9, Mega Man 4 stages let you use the rush adapters without being punished. Mega Man 4 also has not one, but 2 great castles to navigate after beating all 8 Robot Masters. Having a new villain felt really refreshing and exciting. Who is Dr. Cossack? How come no other Mega Man games have done this, having a second Doctor? As much as I love Mega Man 2 and the nostalgia, I cannot deny that Mega Man 4 is the superior game. Well, that wraps up my ranking of the 10 classic Inafune-era Mega Man games. I've been wanting to make a top 10 list of Mega Man games for a long time, but I put it off due to not having a good video editor and a lack of video making experience. I know everyone has their own opinions on which Mega Man games are the best, and will probably disagree with a lot of this list and the things I said about each game, and that's fine. Whether you think Mega Man 6 is the best and Mega Man 2 is the worst, or Mega Man 9 and 10 are the best games in this series and I'm crazy for putting them so low, that's okay too. I grew up with Mega Man and have been playing these games since I was 4 years old. That's 30 years of playing Mega Man. I really miss the old games Capcom used to make on the NES. How times have changed. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Give me a like if you agree, or a dislike if you didn't agree, and feel free to leave comments. What are your favorite Mega Man games and why? Well, see y'all later.